Chapter 3, Two Stories About Flying. Part 1st, His First Flight, Liam O'Flaherty. We are going to study about a young seagull who is afraid to fly. Let's see in this lesson how does he conquer his fear. This is the part 1st. Extract you can see here in front of your screen. I am going to read and explain quickly. The young seagull was alone on his ledge. His two brothers and sister had already flown away the day before. He had been afraid to fly with them. Somehow, when he had taken a little run forward to the brink here it means edge of the ledge here you see a narrow horizontal shelf projecting from a wall. It means here on the cliff there was a space where its nest was there, or its place or its home was there. So he runs forward to the brink of the ledge and attempted to flap his wings. He became afraid. The great expanse of sea stretched down beneath. It was stretched large, means he could see a vast area, only the water or the sea, and it was such a long way down. The cliff was at the high, and it was so long in depth that he got afraid. Miles down, it was miles down, and that's why he got afraid to plunge. He got afraid to jump from there. He felt certain that his wings would never support him. He will not be able to fly. So he bent his head and ran away back to the little hole under the ledge where he slept at night. Means that day when his all brothers and sisters, younger sister, all flew away, then he ran towards the edge, but he could not muster up his courage, and he came back again, and whole night he slept in that his nest alone. Even when each of his brothers and his little sister, younger sister, whose wings were far shorter than his own, wings were shorter than his own, ran to the brink, flapped their wings and flew away. He failed to muster up the courage. The young seagull failed to muster up means collect courage to take that plunge. Plunge means flight. Dive into air, with which appeared to him so desperate, means disappointing, very sad. His father and mother had come around when all the birds flew, but he could not fly. So his father and mother came around, calling him shrilly, means very loudly they were calling, upbraiding him, means they were scolding him that come, threatening, they were warning him that if to let him starve means without food on his ledge unless he flew away, means if he doesn't fly away from there, then he will be without food if he is not flying. But for the life of him he could not move, but because of fear of life he could not move from the ledge. That was 24 hours ago, means this story was of flying 24 hours ago. He was there for 24 hours there. Since then nobody come near him. The day before, all day long he had watched his parents flying about with his brother and sister. He saw that his parents were flying with his brother and sister, perfecting them in art of flight. They were training, they were giving them training, how to fly, how to catch, how to save themselves, teaching them how to scheme. Scheme means how to do artful flying. How to scheme the waves. Scheme here it means to have a glance on the waves, how to move lightly just above the surface of the sea. They were telling how to scheme on the waves, and how to dive for fish. How to dive for fish. He had in fact seen his older brother, means eldest one, catch his first herring and devour it. Herring here means soft, fine sea fish, and devour means gulping, eating something eagerly. So he saw that his elder brother caught the fish and gulp it, standing on a rock while his parents circled around raising a proud crackle. Means they, all the parents were gathering that elder seagull and they were making noise. And all the morning the whole family had walked about on a big plateau midway down the opposite cliff, taunting him with his cowardice. And all the morning that his family members moved from there, making fun of him. In front of the ledge there was a plateau plain area. There they moved and they were making noise. The sun was now ascending the sky, blazing on his ledge. Blazing here it means the shining rays of sun was falling, that faced the south. He was facing the south. He felt the heat because he had not eaten since the previous night. He was feeling very much heat, weak also, because he had not eaten anything for the last night. He stepped slowly. He stepped forward slowly. He stepped slowly out to the brick. Brick means edge of the ledge, and standing on one leg with other leg hidden under his wings. Means he was standing on one leg and one leg was hidden. He closed one eye, then the other. Means one by one he closed one eye and then the other. And what he was showing, you see that, and pretended means he was showing. What he was showing? He was showing that he was falling asleep to his parents. He pretended means show someone that I am doing something but not actually doing. Pretended to be falling asleep means he was feeling sleepy. Still they took no notice of him. Parents did not take notice of him. He saw his two brothers and his sister lying on the plateau dozing with their heads sunk into the necks. Means they were dozing. Dozing means taking short sleep, a nap. So they were dozing. His father was his father was preening the feathers on his white pack. Means he was just arranging the feather. He was cleaning, making an effort to maintain feather, means cleaning the feather. Only his mother was looking at him. Ultimately mother is mother, heart is very soft. Mother was looking at him. She was standing on a little high hump means here a stone, on a plateau. Her white beaks thrust forward. Her white, that front face of her body was visible to the young seagull. Now and again she tore. This is the second form of tear. She tore at a piece of fish that lay at her feet, and then scraped means clean, just move, scraped each side of her beak on the rock. She was scraping her beak on the rock. The sight of the food maddened the seagull. How he loved to tear food that way, scraping his beak now and again to wet it. To wet it means to increase the hunger. So mother knew very well that how he eats fish or food. So she was just doing this way. The seagull was also remembering that how he used to make his appetite, his hunger very much by just sharpening his beak or by just moving, scraping his beaks on the stone. So this way he felt very much hungry. You see that, ga ga ga, he cried, begging her to bring him some food. Go kol a, she screamed back derisively. Derisively here means in a manner showing someone that he or she is stupid. So she was showing that you were stupid, that you did not fly. But he kept calling plaintively, means continuously he was calling his mother to bring some food. And after a minute or so, he uttered a joyful scream. Means joyful means very happy, and uttered means answer. He gave a joyful and happy scream. His mother had picked up a piece of fish and was flying across him with it. So when he saw that mother was bringing, he was very happy, and he was so happy that he screamed in happiness. He leaned outward. He leaned out eagerly. He leaned out eagerly to catch the fish, tapping the rock with his feet. Means he was so excited that he was tapping. Tapping means putting his legs on the rock, trying to get nearer to her as she flew across. As she flew towards him, so he was trying to go forward, but when she was just opposite to him, she halted. Halted means stopped. When she was opposite means just in front of him, her wings motionless. Now she was not flapping her wings. The piece of fish in her beak almost within the reach of his beak. Means he could catch the fish, but she was stopped there. He waited a moment in surprise, wondering means thinking, why she did not come nearer me. And then, maddened by hunger, since he was so hungry, he dived at the fish. He tried to catch the fish. With a loud scream, he fell outwards and downwards into the space. But mother was very smart. She flew away from there, and he dived into the air, just tumbling outwards and downwards. Means just tumbling. It was falling in a disturbance way. Then a monstrous terror seized him. Means a huge terror was there in him, and his heart stood still. Means his heart was just so nervous that he was sinking. He could hear nothing, but it only lasted a minute. Students, if you have the first time, if you have gone for a giant wheel, so such action happen that our heart feels that it is coming out of our body. So in the same way, he was feeling that he could not listen anything, and he was stumbling. He was so much scared, but it was only for a minute. The next moment he felt his wings spread outward. Next moment he saw that his wings are spreading. The wind rushed against his breast. The wind was rushing. Feathers, then under his stomach, and then against his wings. Means the wind was striking him again against his body. He could feel the tips of his wings cutting through the air. He could feel that his wings are cutting the air. He was not falling headlong now. Now he was not falling tumbling. Now he was not falling headlong. Rather he was floating. He was soaring. Soaring means flying. Soaring gradually downwards and outwards. Means slowly he was going downwards. Yes, he was no longer afraid. Now he was not afraid. He was moving. He just felt a bit dizzy. Dizzy here means uncomfortable. He was feeling little bit dizzy. Then he flapped his wings once, and he soared upward. He flapped his wings. Earlier he was falling down slowly, and little bit his wings were flapping, but now he flapped his wings, and now he started going upward. Ga ga ga, ga ga ga, cow ko a. His mother swooped past him. Swooped means mother also just followed him from the past, behind him, her wings making a loud noise. Now his wings were crossing the air and making loud noise. He answered her with another scream. When mother spoke this way, then he also answered, and then his father flew over him screaming. His father was also around him. He saw his two brothers and his younger sister flying around him, curveting and banking and soaring and diving. Means they were all just leaping like a horse in front of him, behind him, and they were flying with him. Then he completely forgot that he had not always been able to fly. He forgot and commended himself to dive and soar and curve, shrieking shrilly. Now he started flying in a art way. He started diving. He started making noise. He started curving and soaring, and curving here means he started moving in a stylish flight. He was nearer the sea now, flying straight over it, facing straight out over the ocean. He saw a vast green sea beneath him, with little ridges moving over it, and he turned his beak sideways and cawed amusedly. He just moved his head here and there, and now he amusedly means very happily he made noise. His parents and his brothers and sister had landed on this green flooring ahead of him. They landed on that sea. They were beckoning to him. They were inviting because he was in the air, calling shrilly. They were making noise, inviting him. He dropped his legs to stand on the green sea. He dropped his legs. Earlier it was straight. His legs sank into it. His legs sank into the water. He screamed with fright. He got frightened. He scared and screamed and attempted to rise again, flapping his wings. But he was tired and weak with hunger, and he could not rise. He was so tired that he could not do anything. He was exhausted, means very much tired. Exhausted by the strange exercise. It was a strange exercise for him. Exhausted by the strange exercise of flying, his feet sank into the green sea, and then his belly touched it, and he sank no farther. Firstly leg, and then his belly touched the water, and then after that he was floating on the water. He was floating on it, and around him his family was screaming, praising him, and their beaks were offering him scraps of dogfish, a kind of fish or sea fish. He had made his first flight. He had won the fear on his fear. He conquered on his fear, and now he had joined his family bravely, and he was doing all the activity what his parents wanted to do him. So I hope you might have understood the lesson. In the summary also I explained the same thing. Now we are going to write these answers in fair copy with the help of the text which we have studied. If anyone has any doubt, they can ask me. They can Google it also for all these answers. These answers are available, but I wish that if you can write your answer, it will be wonderful, because CBSE prefers the answers which are written by students in their own word rather than cramming. So I wish that you should write your own word. Let it be wrong if it is there. We'll have to correct again and again by studying the grammar, our writing portion. So here are the questions which we have to do. First question is, why was the young seagull afraid to fly? So short answer you have to give. Do you think all young birds are afraid to make their flight? That is your personal answer. You have to give your opinion. Or some birds more timid and others than others, means do you think that some birds are more timid, means quite afraid and quite scared or coward? Do you think a human baby also find it a challenge to take its first steps? So there are three questions in this first one. You have to do separately. The sight of food maddened him. What does this suggest? What do you understand by this? That the sight of food maddened him. What compelled, what forced the young seagull to finally fly? Means how he flew or what made him fly. Next one is, they were beckoning to him. Beckoning means inviting him, calling shrilly. Why did the seagull's father and mother threaten him and cajole him to fly? Cajole means here is cold. Why they convinced, they tried, they threatened, they warned him to fly. Have you ever had a similar experience where your parents encouraged you to do something that you are too scared to try? Discuss this in your writing. Here pair is not there, so you are going to write your points in a paragraph. And the last question is, in the case of bird flying, it seems a natural act and a foregone conclusion that it should succeed. In the examples you have given in answer to the previous question, means fourth question, was your success guaranteed, or was it important for you to try regardless or possibilities of failure? So here this fifth question is based on fourth one. It means fourth one you have to give answer your experience, that did you have any challenge or parents encouraged you to do something? What was the result? Did you get success or not? And if not, so did you leave or you try again? You tried again. What happened? You have to actually correlate the story fourth one into the fifth one. So these only three questions are there from the text. Remaining three questions are from your side. 3 question I'm saying because in first there is one also your open end question. So here 6 questions you are going, 5 questions you are going to write in fair, and 8 questions I have given in oral comprehension in summary. So that is also will be written in copy. I hope you might have understood all. If you have doubts, so you can ask today in the class. Thank you. Have a nice day.